Well, it seems that they're still fighting within the safe zone area as the YPG has not fully pulled out of the 32-kilometer zone that it has agreed to initially. We have seen some preliminary reports from the ground that the YPG, alongside possibly Assad regime troops, are still inside that zone. We've seen some clashes with the Syrian National Army about 6 miles north of the city of Tal Tamar in western Hasaka province. So it still seems that the YPG has not fully committed on the ground. In reality, the promises that it made both to the United States and to Russia. So it still seems that the Turkish forces and the Syrian National Army are still trying to clear that zone out of remnants of the YPG. And we have seen in the past few days also car bombs in areas such as Tel Abyad and south of Ras Al Ain that are supposedly linked to the YPG terror group. So this may be an effort by that terror group to act as a disruptor in areas that have been cleared. We have to wait and see as of course, as the deadline approaches. Right. We have seen Ankara saying that once that deadline is reached, and if the YPG does not pull out, that there's going to be serious consequences for that terror group.
Okay, so I just have to ask, I mean, this expires in a few hours at the end of Tuesday. What happens at the end of Tuesday?
Well, that's what we have to wait and see. We may be seeing a resumption of major military operations by Turkish forces and their Syrian National Army. And of course, it's a big question of what happens to Daesh in the area. We saw the U.S. Secretary of Defense, Mark Esper, saying that over 100 Daesh militants, terrorists, were released or escaped from prisons in areas controlled by the YPG. So at a time when Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi has been taken out of the battlefield by U.S. Special Forces, still a lot of questions on what happens to some of the remaining Daesh foreign fighters, some of whom may have been released by the YPG or escaped from areas that were once held by the YPG.
And as for Daesh, we've been hearing now about more than 40 arrests in Turkey, many of them in Bursa, pretty much at the heart of the country, many of them also Syrian nationals from the reports we've seen. Tell us more about these arrests, and I mean, how much is Turkey really up against in trying to find Daesh-linked fighters on their own territory?
Andrea, that's a very important question. We have just received confirmation that not only were some major Daesh operators captured by Turkish security forces, but they were also plotting a major terror attack against Turkey that was set to take place today during Turkey's National Day, Republic Day. So it seems here that Daesh, of course, still has Turkey in its crosshairs. We have to remember that in November 2016, al-Baghdadi himself declared all-out war against Turkey as Turkish forces and their Free Syrian Army allies were fighting the Euphrates Shield area in northern Aleppo province against Daesh. Of course, we've also seen some reports in the past 48 hours that prior Turkish counter-terrorism operations that captured senior Daesh lieutenants to al-Baghdadi also played a critical role in providing intelligence that may have led to the final killing of al-Baghdadi himself.
Okay, Oubai Shahbandar, thanks so much for that.